Session. I thank Sachi Mataji and Ramakrishna Prabhuji for encouraging me to study Gita seriously and as well as to preach whatever I have understood and assist Prabhupada in his mission to spread Krishna consciousness worldwide. I seek all the blessings from all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis present here today. So if I make any mistake, please forgive me, please correct me. Hare Krishna. So today we will be discussing chapter 10, which is titled The Opulence of the Absolute. So connection with chapter 9. So Krishna ended the last chapter, chapter 9, with Bhagavad Geeta 9.34. That is Man Mana Bhava Mat Bhakto. That is devotees of the Lord, they fix their mind in Krishna. So in this chapter, we are going to discuss Lord's opulence and how can a devotee fix his mind. And whenever we see beautiful things around us, how can we remember the Lord? And then conclusion of chapter 9 is that we should try to become a pure devotee of the Lord. So in this chapter we are learning about opulences. So when we hear about Lord's opulences, our faith in him becomes stronger and our devotion also increases. So this is the acronym for this chapter, that is C. S is Krishna is the source of everything. E is essence of Gita, and E is Krishna is present everywhere. So we will start how Krishna is the source of everything. Before we discuss about Krishna, we should know who can we define Bhagavan as. So nowadays in YouTube and in Facebook, in social media, and even in real life also, we see so many Babaji, so many Yogi ji claiming to be, representative of God and claiming to be God men. But actually, are they God men? Let us see. So Parashara Muni defines Bhagavan as one who is full in all the six opulences. So, those six opulences, what are those six opulences? That is strength, full fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation. So, does anybody else know any being on earth who has all the six qualities? Anyone? Is there anyone like that? No. Solely Krishna has all the six opulences. That is why we can call Krishna as Supreme Bhagavan. So, and in let's now try to understand the second verse. Name vidu suragana prabhavam na maharshaya aham adir hi devanam maharshinam cha sarvasa. That is, even demigods themselves, they cannot understand Krishna or his opulences because in great knowledge. So, Krishna is the source of all demigods and sages. So in Brahma Samhita, it is mentioned that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachirananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. That is, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. There is no one greater than him. Even the great sages, demigods, they are all, the source of all of them are Krishna. He is the cause of all the causes. So there is no other qualification required. I mean, the scholarship is not a qualification necessary to understand Krishna. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is clearly said that even the great demigods, they are not able to understand the supreme personality of Godhead. And we cannot understand Krishna simply by speculation. We should understand Krishna from a quality source, authentic source, such as Bhagavad Gita as it is, and writings from Prabhupada. So, why do we emphasize Prabhupada's works so much to understand about Krishna? Because they are not ordinary books. The text and the words written in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, they are not fabricated. They are actually coming from the Lord Himself, Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya, which starts from Krishna Himself. So, therefore, whatever is written by Prabhupada, it is not his own words. It is what has been passed on directly from Krishna himself. So now we will understand who can understand Krishna fully. So Krishna cannot be like last chapter we discussed. Those who are envious of the Lord, they cannot understand Krishna completely. Those who are like, oh, why Krishna is the supreme, why I can't be supreme, etc. Those kind of people who are envious of the Lord, who think that who does not believe in the existence of Krishna, they cannot understand Krishna fully. So only devotees who are surrendered unto the Supreme Lord can understand Krishna fully by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is Krishna. And the devotees of Lord, they do not bother about any impersonal Brahman conception of God. Their faith in Krishna, and they are so faithful to Krishna, they are so determined and surrendered to Him that they can understand Krishna. No one else can understand the Lord. So how can we understand about Krishna? Suppose everybody has some role model, someone who look up to. Can anybody tell one example, any role model, any inspiration whom you look up to? Anybody can answer. No need to raise hand. So, for example, in material world itself, around us also, we admire celebrities. Why do we admire celebrities so much? Because in our eyes, we see them as successful. For us, what we desire, they have already achieved. That is why we like them, we admire them, we worship them so much. So, similarly, what happens? Krishna is full in all the six opulences, and when we understand about Krishna, what happens automatically? Kr- uh, so Krishna should be our role model because he is the source of all the sources. He is the supreme person. There is no one above him. So we cannot understand him simply. How can we understand him? We can understand Krishna when we hear about Lord, especially in devotee association. When we hear about Lord, when we practice nine process of devotional service, especially have you ever felt when we sit with devotees and discuss glories of the Lord, we feel very peaceful, very positive, and our chanting also becomes 10 times better when we sit with devotees. Our minds don't wander here and there. Why? Because we are in the association of great souls. Even in school, also, we don't try to become friends with those students who are not academically strong or those who are not disciplined. We try to be friends with the toppers of the class or the teacher's pet. Because why? Because they are very disciplined, they are very systematic. So in their influence, what happens, we also try to become as disciplined and systematic as them. So it is said that you can judge a person by their friends. So similarly, if we associate with Lord's devotees, we are not get to understand about Lord, we develop more interest in knowing about Lord. And devotees, as we discussed in chapter 9, Mana Bhava Madbhakto, their mind is constantly engaged in in thoughts of Krishna, in thinking about Krishna. So their association and their influence will make a really positive change in our life. So, why should we understand Krishna's opulences? Again, when we admire somebody very successful, why do we admire them? Because we have a desire to be successful, we have our definition of success. So, they meet all that criteria. That is why we are admiring celebrities and all these businessmen. Whatever they say, it becomes headlines. Whatever they do, if they do a charity work, it becomes headlines. Why? People look up to them. Why do people look up to them? Because they know, oh, these people are successful. These people have achieved great things in life. So, similarly, why should we understand Krishna's opulences? Etam vibhutim yogam cha mama yoveti tattvataha so vikalpena yogena yujyate natra samshaya. That is one who is factually, who is convinced of the Lord's opulence and mystic power, they engage in unalloyed devotional service. There is no doubt. So unless we are, see, if you want to, if you are trying to follow some principle or some new what to say thing which is claimed to bring change in your life, you will not simply practice as it is, or you will, for example, suppose I am making a decision that I will chant daily. I'm a newcomer. I will made a decision that I will chant daily. So is that possible if I don't have faith in Krishna? No. If I don't believe in that process, if I don't have firm faith in that process, how will I be not distracted or not swayed by any negative opinions about chanting? So similarly, when we hear about Lord's opulences, what happens? We become convinced of the supremacy of the Lord, and without any doubt we will engage in the service of the Lord. So all this knowledge, it is required to increase one's interest in the loving devotional service of the Lord. So next we'll move on to essence of Gita. This is a very important, this is the gem part of Bhagavad Gita. It is also known as Chaturshloki Gita. So let's start with 10.8. Now before we begin with essence of Gita, it follows three principles, that is Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. Sambandha is relationship. Now if you are trying, if you suppose if you are trying to love somebody, if you are trying to build a relationship, we won't simply build we will not tell hi and the next day we become friends. We get to know more about them, we associate with them, and if their views are making convince us, or their person, we really like their personality, then only we go on to build relationship with them. So similarly, sambandha means we are trying to understand our relationship with the Supreme. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Aham sarvasya prabhavo, that is, I am the source of all spiritual and material world. Matta sarvam pravartate, that is, everything emanates from me. Iti matva bhajantema. What is iti matva bhajantema? That is, the wise who know about, perfectly know that Krishna is the source of everything. Krishna is the supreme. They engage in the devotional service and Buddha Bhava Samanvita and worship me with all their hearts. So there is no supreme controller other than Krishna. Now a doubt may come up in our mind. Why? How? From where did we know Krishna is the supreme, and why Krishna is called supreme? It is not simply mentioned like that in scriptures. Great sages, they have written in scriptures. It's not simply before Krishna takes an avatara. It's clearly described in all the scriptures about how Krishna's Leela will be and how the Krishna's appearance will be. It is mentioned in the Shastras. We are not fabricating from anywhere. So, who understands Krishna in such a way, we should not randomly do discovery or speculate and try to understand Krishna. Rather, we have to learn it, we have to try to understand it from a bona fide spiritual master with references from Vedic literature, and engage all our energy in trying to understand Krishna by cultivating Krishna consciousness, and then only we can become a truly learned person. And a Krishna conscious, now in YouTube and all, many videos are familiar, like ISKCON is that, ISKCON is this. They don't have any proper understanding about what we are discussing or what our principle is. They are simply from somewhere, they bring some fake news and try to spread to people and change their mind. So a Krishna conscious person, they will not be bewildered by such fools. Why? Because they know perfectly whatever knowledge they have got, it is from Krishna himself, it is from the parampara. So they are so strong, they are so faithful to their scriptures, so therefore they will not get bewildered by fools who try to change their mind. And a Krishna conscious person, he should avoid all unauthorized commentary. So we must follow what? Bhagavad Gita as it is, and writings of Prabhupada. Why so much emphasis on Prabhupada's writings? Because they are coming directly from the Krishna, Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. It is not Prabhupada's own words. It is the words of which has passed down from the generations and generations of very highly intelligent and devotional, those who have attained that devotional perfection. Their words is what we are trying to study. So we should not read or give much focus to unauthorized commentaries and interpretations on Bhagavad Gita, and we have to proceed in Krishna consciousness with determination and firmness. So, in motivational speeches and all done by great people, they always say that is, you have to be determined, you should not give up. So, in achieving material things as well, I've heard so many in YouTube and all, it's available. You should be determined, never give up. So, same thing in Krishna consciousness also, we should proceed. There will be so many obstacles. We will have to deal with associating with non devotees. In today's world, it is not very practical to always have Krishna's association. We have to deal with non devotees. In my own family itself, many people were asking, why did you leave non veg? What will you do for nutrition? In vaccines and all, it is there. So I just ignore them. I try my best to make them understand that it's mentioned in Shastras that we should only eat vegetarian food, we should be merciful to animals. If they are not convinced, I cannot do anything. But that doesn't mean I should change my principle. I should be determined that I will follow Prabhupada's words. I will follow what's written in scriptures. And next we'll move on to 10.9 Abhideya. Abhideya is the process. Now we understood our relationship with Krishna. That is, Krishna is the source of all beings. Krishna is like our father. Even in our daily world also, when a child is born, that child inherits both mother and father's qualities. Not all their qualities, but the child will have some of the mother's qualities also, some of father's qualities also. So similarly, we are all children of Krishna. So although we will not have all the six opulences in full, that only Krishna will have. But Krishna has blessed us with some little. Some people may have wealth, some people may have fame, some people may have renunciation, etc., etc. So now we will try to understand the process to understand Krishna. That is Abhidaya. Mat chitta mat gada prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Mat chitta mat gada prana. That is the thoughts of Krishna's devotees. They constantly think about Krishna. Bodhayanta parasparam. Bodhayanta means they do not discuss stock market or investment, etc. Devotees, they constantly discuss about Krishna. Katayan tascha mam nityam. And by hearing glories of Lord, by discussing about Lord, they derive great satisfaction and bliss. And tushyan ticha ramanticha. And they always enlighten each other by conversing about Krishna. So pure devotees, as I mentioned, they fully engage themselves in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, and they are so faithful, and their mind does not get diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna. They are constantly talk about transcendental subjects, and devotees of the Lord. They are 24 hours engaged in glorifying the qualities and pastimes of the Lord, and their hearts and souls, they're constantly submerged in Krishna, and they take great pleasure in discussing him with other devotees. So now in this verse, there are two stages of bhakti mentioned. What that is preliminary stage and mature stage. Preliminary stage means they relish transcendental pleasure from the service itself. So oftentimes when we newly join ISKCON and all, so when we engage in seva, we don't get tired of it doing the seva. Our mind is constantly about how can I serve devotees better. Small, even if we get small sevas, we do with so much eagerness. That is preliminary stage. That is, we relish pleasure from the service itself. And mature stage. So that is why when devotees they come in between, they get they get so much attracted. Have you heard mentions of people saying the ISKCON temple looks so beautiful and the deities are arranged and decorated so beautifully. So they get happiness from small services they perform to Lord. And mature stages, they relish the highest perfection which is exhibited by the Lord in his abode. They are always situated in love of God. So here analogy is mentioned, that is Bhakti Lata Bija. So Lord Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela chapter 19, he compares transcendental devotional service to a seed which is sowed in the heart of a living entity. So when we want to plant a small plant, say hibiscus or some some small flowers or something. First, what we do, we obtain the seed, and we prepare the soil, we sow the seed, and regularly by watering we are nourishing the plant, and that plant grows strong. So similarly, here also devotional service, it is compared to sowing of a seed. So this seed, it is not it is a rare fortune to get the seed. Only very fortunate people who have done good karma in the past life, only they can get a chance to practice devotional service. Only in them we can plant this, only they can obtain the seed of devotional service. And how can we nourish the seed? How do we? By regularly watering the seed. So the watering of the seed of Bhakti Lata Bija, how it is done? By hearing and chanting of Krishna. And slowly what happens? The seed will fructify and grow, and it will penetrate. It will, this tree will grow beyond the covering of the material universe. It reaches Brahma Jyoti, it grows more, and final destination. What is the ultimate destination? That is reaches the highest planet Goloka Vrindavana, and takes shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and rests there. And gradually it will bear fruits and flowers, and the watering process goes on, and we become fully absorbed in the love of Godhead. And pure devotees of Krishna, they are like fish in water. Have you ever seen a fish without water, with like simply lying on the land, etc.? And I'm not talking about the one used for food consumption, but normally, normal fishes, they cannot live without water. So similarly, devotees of the Lord, they are constantly engaged in devotion. They cannot live without thinking about Krishna. They cannot live without serving Krishna. And pure devotees of the Lord, they engage in transcendental loving service of the Lord. Their mind cannot be diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna, and they are 24 hours engaged. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. That is, there is in Srimad Bhagavatam, have you seen, do you see mentions of any material activities or economic development or sense gratification? No. Srimad Bhagavatam is the only narration in which the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord and his devotees is fully described. And the realized soul in Krishna consciousness, they take pleasure by hearing such transcendental literatures. And now we'll discuss about prayojana. Prayojana means goal. What is the goal of performing bhakti? That is tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Tesham satata yuktanam. Tesham satata yuktanam means those who are constantly engaged, devoted to serving Krishna with love. Bhajatam priti purvakam, they constantly try glorify Krishna and try to understand Krishna. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Lord within, seated in the heart, he gives instructions. He helps you to advance in devotional service. Ye namam upayanti te. I give under Krishna gives understanding by which they can come to him. So in this verse, Buddhi Yoga is explained. What is Buddhi Yoga? So Buddhi Yoga is the process by which we get out of the entanglement in this material world. Buddhi means intelligence, and Yoga means activities that elevate us. So when we try to go back to home Godhead and takes fully to Krishna consciousness, basically when we act in Krishna consciousness with our full intelligence, that such an action is known as Buddhi Yoga. And the ultimate goal of progress of this Buddhi Yoga process is Krishna. So how do we know the goal? That is by associating with devotees. So mention of Buddhi Yoga reminded me of a very wonderful pastime. There was a Brahmana in South India. So he was instructed by his guru to read Bhagavad Gita and try to understand Bhagavad Gita. So poor Brahmana, he was illiterate, but still he, in order to pay respect, in order to listen, obey his guru, what he does, he takes Bhagavad Gita and tries reading it. But unfortunately, the Bhagavad Gita was flipped upside down. He was illiterate, so he doesn't know the letters are flipped. He was made fun of. But then what he said, then um, uh, he was he understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita. He understood the importance of Bhakti Yoga. So that is why even though he was not very literate, or he didn't technically he was not aware of what was written in Bhagavad Gita technically, still he was able to grasp the essence of Lord. Why? Because he was engaged in devotional service. So Krishna from within gave him intelligence to understand about Lord. So, there are different forms of yoga. That is, when we know Krishna is the goal, but we are addicted to the results. That means that is karma yoga. Jnana yoga is we know goal is Krishna, but we take pleasure in mental speculation to understand Krishna. So that is Jnana yoga. And when we know the goal and seeks completely, we know the goal and we are completely in consciousness and devotional service, we are acting in Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, which is the complete yoga. It is the highest perfectional stage. So this is the point I mentioned earlier. So sometimes it happens to us also. We receive instructions from Guru, but unfortunately we will not. We struggle to understand the value of their words, or we struggle to understand what did they actually mean. Or even in Bhagavad Gita, when very great realized souls and very expert devotees, when they come and try to take class, we feel lagging behind. We don't feel like we have understood. So what Krishna says, you may have bona fide spiritual master, and you may be attached to a spiritual organization. But if you are not intelligent enough, if you are not able to understand about what is mentioned, if you are not intelligent enough to make progress, what happens? No need to worry. Keep sincerely praying to Krishna, and Krishna from within he will give instructions so that he may ultimately come to Krishna without difficulty. So there is no need of any material qualification. You don't need any masters or PhD. Rather, all you need to do is engage Krishna in Krishna consciousness with love and devotion, and render all kinds of services. So, if a devotee is not intelligent enough, so even if don't understand the technical depths of Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, you may even if you are not in that position to quote different verses from multiple scriptures to present the Gita or understand Gita, still Krishna will give you the intelligence. Krishna will help you in the process, and he will give you a chance to make progress and ultimately attain him. So, tesham evanukampartam aham ajnanajam tama nashayami atma bhavasto jnana deepena basvata. Tesham evanukampartam. That is, to show special mercy. Krishna is so merciful. So, to show special mercy, what Krishna does, he is residing in all of us as what? Super soul. So, as Paramatma. So, with shining lamp of knowledge, Krishna will extinguish the darkness which is born of ignorance. So, we can go on speculating, but if we are not devoted, if we are not genuinely interested in understanding the supreme truth, we will never understand Krishna. We can understand Krishna only by pleasing the Lord, only by performing devotional service. So when we perform devotional service, only he will reveal himself to the heart of the pure devotee, and the pure devotee has Krishna within his heart, and Krishna's presence is like a sun. So the darkness which is born of ignorance is at once dissipated. This is the special mercy rendered to the pure devotee by Krishna. And the pure devotee does not worry about material necessities of life. He need not be anxious, because when Krishna removes darkness from his heart, everything is provided automatically by the Supreme Lord, who is pleased by the loving devotional service of the devotee. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't go to school, or we shouldn't go to office, etc. We have to be intelligent enough. We have to smartly balance both spiritual and material activities. So in workplaces, in school, I mentioned earlier also, we will, if we, it's not possible always to be in association of devotees, but we should not get distracted by their words. We should keep Krishna in our heart. We should keep thinking about Krishna. We should pray to Krishna so that we get enough opportunities to associate with great devotees and um, get clearer understanding, get a more mature understanding about Bhakti Yoga and Krishna as Supreme. So, what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? So, by studying Bhagavad Gita, we can become a soul which is completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord and engage ourselves in the pure devotional service. So, Krishna is present everywhere. That is Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutasaya Stita Aham Adischa Madhyamscha Bhutanam Anta Evacha. Aham Atma Gudakesha. I am the super soul. O Arjuna, he was seated in the hearts of all living entities as Paramatma. Sarva Bhuta Saya Stita. I am the beginning, Aham Adischa Madhyamcha. I am the beginning, the middle, Bhutanam Anta Evacha, and the end of all living beings. So in this verse, Krishna is addressed as Gudakesha. So Gudakesha means one who has conquered the darkness of sleep. So for those who are, it is not, see, if you are, when we are, for those who are sleeping in the darkness of ignorance, it is not possible to understand Supreme Lord. How Supreme Lord manifests himself in various ways in material and spiritual worlds. So this address to Krishna is significant. Why Krishna is above Arjuna is above such darkness. And the Supreme Lord himself agrees to describe various opulences. And Krishna manifests as three Purusha avatars in the material creation: Mahavishnu, Garbhodakasai Vishnu, and Kshirodakasai Vishnu. Mahavishnu is the cause of all causes. It is mentioned in Brahma Samhita. Therefore, Krishna is the beginning, middle, and end of all the energy. Lord as Supreme Lord. Krishna is seated in our hearts as Kshirodakasai Vishnu, as Paramatma, and in Subala Upanishad, it is mentioned that Supreme Personality of Godhead is existing as super soul in all manifested universe. So conclusion of chapter 10, this chapter. So in this chapter, we learn how can we concentrate our mind in Krishna consciousness in full devotional service, and we discussed about devotional service and worship of Krishna, which is mentioned in Chaturshloki Gita, that is 10.8 to 10.11. So in this chapter, it explains how to attain the highest devotional perfection. How can we achieve highest devotional perfection? By associating with Supreme Lord. And Baladeva Vidyabhushana concludes this chapter by saying, even the sun gets its power from Krishna's potent energy, and by Krishna's partial expansion, the whole world is maintained. Therefore, Krishna is worshipable. Now we will discuss about the various opulences of the Lord which is mentioned. So before that, we will discuss Bhagavad Gita 10.40. Nanto asti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa eta tude sata propto vibhuter vistaro maya. O, that is, O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. So Krishna's opulences are unlimited. It's very difficult to take account. So in oftentimes in material world or in the reality we live in, we encounter many people. When we try to bring them to this path of bhakti, they ask, where is Krishna? Where is God? Who is God? Where is he present? So such people, they claim, even scientific studies also, they are unable to prove the existence of God and prove the presence of super soul. So To such a person, this chapter is an answer to such a person's doubt that Krishna is present everywhere. In the next chapter, we will learn about Lord's Vishwarupa and how we cannot simply, we are not able to see Krishna, not because Krishna is not present, but we don't have the vision to see Krishna. That is why. And how can we, so to such a person, we can tell Krishna is present everywhere. How the sunrise and sunset, it is happening due to a scientific phenomena which is established by science, but it is not manually made by some manually. Sun is not made to rise by some government or some lab or uh, some military entity, etc. It happens automatically. The whole world is maintained automatically. Why? Nobody is sitting and maintaining the world. Oh, their plants should grow here, ocean should come. Nobody is manually sitting and doing that. So that means what? There is a supreme entity who is controlling this universe, and that supreme entity is Krishna. And it is not simply said also. It is there are proper evidences in Shastras that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And many people they many people due to realities of life, we all have some kind of disturbances, or some kind of disturbances, or some kind of sadness. So out of all that, many YouTube, there are, we see recently also in news it came, there are many bogus gurus, many child gurus also. They don't practice on their own, but they are coming to preach about the Lord. They are claiming to be Lord's representatives. And recently in news also, we saw the case of Jaya Kishori also. She was preaching how we should serve the Lord, how we should not eat animals meat, how we should not use animal products, we should show mercy. But she herself was caught carrying a calfskin bag, that is a Dior bag. So that is the reality of today. So we should not follow such bogus gurus. Yes, they may have a very they may be good at being orators. They have a very attractive style of presenting, but we do not know if their words are true or not. They do not have proper understanding. And these people, they charge 2 lakh, 3 lakh rupees per satsanga. So, do you think any really realized person, any truly realized expert person in this subject of devotional service, they will charge like that? They will be attracted to material opulences? No. They will not be attracted. So that is why we should be very careful when we are trying to understand all these scriptures. We should not simply randomly go to strangers or some Babaji to understand Bhakti Yoga. We should read, we should follow a systematic parampara. We should take the guidance of a proper person who has proper knowledge of the subject matter. In material world also, if you want to become doctor, or if you want to become engineer, or even in school also, there are many people who have done BSc Physics, BSc Maths. They might not have teaching experience. They may not have very in-depth knowledge. They may have somehow passed. Will you go learn and will you go learn physics or maths from such a person? No. You will learn physics and maths only from such a person who is expert at his subject. So similarly, we should learn, we should try to understand scriptures in the association of devotees. Now, we will discuss different opulences which is mentioned in this chapter. There are many, so we will not be able to explain in great detail, but these are the Lord's different opulences which is mentioned. Among demigods, there is King of Heaven, Krishna is Indra. Among Adityas, Krishna is Vishnu. Among Maruts, he is Marichi. Yakshas and Rakshasas, Krishna is Kuvera. And among Vasus, Krishna is Agni. Among generals, Krishna is Kartikeya. And among demigods, Krishna is among Gandharvas, Krishna is Chitraratha. Then among creators, Krishna is what? Brahma. Daitya Prahalada, devoted Prahalada. Then among Yama, Lord of Death, dispensers of Lord, Krishna is Yama. And qualities also are mentioned. Among wise, Krishna is wisdom. Among secret things, Krishna is silence. And among those who seek victory, Krishna is morality. And among women, Krishna is fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, etc. So these are the different ways in which we can, in which Krishna is saying. we can see Krishna. So whenever we go, so how can we practically apply this chapter is when we go to a park or when we go to a beautiful place, especially in places like Kerala, there is so wonderful greenery. It is so calming. So in such places, when we see those greenery, when we see nice flowers, when we see beautiful things of the Lord, we should try to remember that, oh, so this is Krishna's creations. Krishna's creations are so wonderful. So, do you know anyone else? You cannot create a human being even in lab. You can study about human being by scientific research and discovery. But there is only one and only person. That is only Krishna can produce human beings. That too, uh, uh, only Krishna can produce human beings. Only Krishna can have is perfect in everything. So these are, and then among animals, Krishna is, among human beings and kings, among Pandavas, Krishna is Dhananjaya. Who is Dhananjaya? What is other name of Dhananjaya?
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. So among men, Krishna is monarch, and among descendants of Vishnu, Krishna is Vasudeva. And then among animals, among horses, Krishna is Uchaishrava. Then among the lordly elephants, Krishna is Airavata. Among cows, Krishna is Surabhi. Among serpents, Krishna is Vasuki. And many hooded Nagas, Krishna is Ananta. Fishes, Krishna is shark. Beasts, beasts, Krishna is lion. Among birds, Krishna is Garuda. And in laws and crime, among subduers, Krishna is Kala, time. Wielders of weapon, Krishna is Rama. And then we in nature also, lights it is radiant sun, stars it is moon. Among mountain, Krishna is Meru. Among immovables, Krishna is Himalaya. Water bodies, Krishna is ocean. And creation, as we discussed, Krishna is the beginning, middle, and end. And among the months, Krishna is Margashirsha. Seasons, Krishna is the flower bearing spring. And Krishna is the inexhaustible time. No beings moving or non moving can exist without me. A philosophical truth also we discussed, that is Krishna exists in all the hearts of all living beings as super soul. I am Krishna's again. I am beginning, middle, and end, generating seed of all existences. Krishna is the generating principle among poetry. Krishna is Gayatri. Among letters, Krishna is A. And science, spiritual science of self. Among logicians, Krishna is conclusive truth. Hymns in Veda, Sama Veda, Brihat Sama Veda, and we can see Krishna through vibrations, that is transcendental Om, sacrifices, that is chanting of the holy names, Vedas, that is Sama Veda. So these are the ways in which Krishna explains his opulences from verses 20 to 39. So why are we trying to understand Lord's opulences? That is to make our faith more stronger. In previous chapter also we learned that is bhakti. When we try to practice bhakti yoga, if we are not faithful in that process, we will not get the benefit of doing bhakti yoga. So just like how in material world also we admire successful people, why? Because they are successful. So similarly, Krishna is the most successful person in all the universes. So when we hear about his opulences, we become more eager to understand about Krishna. So here we are ending the session. Hare Krishna. So I will do a small question round. Can anyone, in their words, no need very big paragraph or very big points, in simple words, can anyone summarize this chapter? I want actually, if possible, younger audiences can summarize the chapter. Anyone can, no problem. No need to raise hand. You can just unmute and start speaking. No problem.
Hare Krishna, may I request one of you to please come forward? Jia, Dhruv, Dev. Yeah, can one of you? Not Ramakrishna Prabhu, please. Not Ramakrishna Das.
I am also very young.
Hmm. Yeah, no problem. Niranjan, one of you, please. Radhita, Dhruv.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, Niranjan, go ahead. Please put on your
Yes,
video, beta. Please put on your video.
yes, Mataji. One second, Mataji. Uh, Yes, Mataji. In this chapter, it says about how Lord can be in different forms and species and different animals and everything. And it also says in this chapter, for example, if we go to a beautiful place, we have to look at that and remember how Lord's creation is. Instead of remembering that place, we have to remember about how beauty of the Lord's creations, Mataji.
Very good. Thank you, Niranjan. Anybody else? Thank you, Niranjan. Anybody else would like to add a couple of points which you please say those points which Niranjan has not touched upon. Jia, Dhruv, Dev, Radhita, please come up. Couple of points, please, each of you. Those points which Niranjan has touched, you need not tell something else. Yeah, Jia, go ahead.
Hare
Put on your
Krishna.
video. Put on your video, Jia.
Hare Krishna, Devyaani. Thank you for the beautiful class.
We cannot hear you. Can you increase your mic volume?
Now can you hear me?
Okay, it's better.
Yeah, thank you for the wonderful class. So whatever I have understood, I have written it down. So if I have made any mistakes in my explanation, please correct me. So first, you talked about verse 1 to 7, which was knowing that Krishna is the unknowable source of all. You also told that Krishna is the origin of everything, and he is free from all the sins. And you also from verses 4 to 7 you have explained that Krishna is origin of all the qualities and all the personalities, and he has innumerable powers. And you also have explained the pure bhakti, which is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna is the source of all material and spiritual worlds. And from verses 12 to 18, Arjuna accepts Krishna's supreme position, and Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, the purest, and he's the greatest. And that's what I have understood from my point of view. If there is anything.
Haribol. So, what is anybody can answer? It's okay. What is the essence of Bhagavad Gita we discussed in the slide? Anybody can answer, not only Jia.
Hare Krishna, Devyaani Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
If you permit me, could I answer it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
I was hearing your wonderful sessions till about verse number 38, 39 in a remote way without joining your class. But when I started, it was in slide 40 that you were showing about the opulences listed. I believe that you have very nicely touched upon the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, 8 to 11. That was a very interesting point there. And previously you asked if anyone can just summarize in one line what is the essence of this chapter. So just in one line, if I have to say, it is Sri Krishna is all in all. That's the essence. And at some other chapter, probably Krishna says, maybe it is in the 7th and then again in the 9th chapter, Krishna says that everything depends on him, but he is not in them. So in this particular chapter, Krishna specifically also tells how he is spread over in everything through his various energies. Therefore, he specifically speaks this chapter as opulences, or it is called as vibhuti. Vibhutis mean that he is not personally present, but he has empowered his presence and energy in them. So that's the contrast between the previous chapters and this particular chapter, which is Arjuna's request was that how can he understand the all-pervading nature of the Lord, and therefore the Lord gave these wonderful listings, how he could be understood. And your concluding point was really very interesting and very supportive to this point, that no one can make human beings, it is only Krishna. And it really touched my heart very much, because all the scientists and everyone is making every kind of an attempt to increase the lifespan or make another human being. Nowadays, we see so many robots who are coming in the place. They are not able to make human beings, but they are trying to make human toys, which will work like human beings, is what they are expecting. But then they still fail, even with all their intelligence, they cannot make or replace a human being for any reason. That was very interesting. So, what makes it more interesting for me personally, what I'm going to take it away for this session is, I want to become your student. Will you kindly accept me? Because it would take such an effort for someone to summarize 42 verses in a span of just about 40 minutes or 45 minutes. The whole exercise that you did, it requires real courage. Even probably Krishna would be thinking, how do I speak 42 verses in that short time? And probably he will dial up and ask, Devyaani, how did you make it? So be ready to share that experience with Krishna and kindly accept me as your humble student. Thank you, Devyaani.
Prabhuji, this presentation was made possible. Prabhuji, all glories to His Grace Sutaba Prabhuji. I used his acronym guide. It was nicely summarized there. And also in between, when things got little complicated for me to understand, I referred His Grace Gauranga Priya Prabhuji's Bhagavad Geeta notes. These two are the sources I use, Prabhuji, and I will never not take nothing is I will not take credit for the presentation at possible because of these two books, specifically that acronym guide. It helped me section the chapter and also try to present the important points. And Prabhuji, I want to be your student. I want to understand more. I feel my understanding is not at all complete, not enough. I have more to understand and more to study. This is my small effort to try and present the chapter. Hare Krishna.
Jai. May Krishna always bless and inspire you, dear.
Hare Krishna. First of all, a very, very, very big round of applause to our dear Devyaani, who has presented so very nicely. In fact, all your classes are so very inspirational and very wonderful to hear. Most importantly, see, as it's fine. There is nothing wrong in taking the notes from either Sutapa Prabhu or Gauranga the Priya Prabhu, because ours is a parampara. We are not supposed to concoct anything. So that's absolutely fine. But the way you present, you have understood the subject matter and you put it in your own words, even the examples, what you gave, the realizations, what you say, it comes from your heart. And that is what makes it very, very touching, very heart touching, and it penetrates. And that is really, really, really very wonderful of you. It is just wonderful. And even I was not aware of this Jai Kishori episode, wherein she gives so many big, big talks everywhere, and she turns out to be such a person. I was taken aback when you gave this point, and you told so many examples, and the way you told, you were so much convinced, like what is parampara and why we should follow the parampara, why we should follow Prabhupada. Every slide, almost every slide, you were stressing this aspect, how important it is to follow the parampara. And that was really, really, very, very, very wonderful of you, Devyani. That was very nice. Just before you took up to verse 10.40, or even telling the different vibhutis, I was expecting, in fact, because you left out the two verses, very, very important verses, like after Krishna speaks about Chatushloki, that is when Arjuna says, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Mama, Purusham. So that was a very wonderful verse because that is where Arjuna accepts the Lord's supreme position and he says, now I'm eager to know more about you. And that is what makes Krishna talk about all his vibhutis. So that was one point which you left out. I felt that was because that is a very important verse to be quoted in this particular chapter. Apart from those four Chatushloki, this is also a very equally important verse that needs to be, in fact, this is a sloka for memorization also, and that should be spoken. And finally, Krishna also says that whatever I've told you, it's just only a spark, he says. It's only a spark of my splendor. And he says it's limitless. Yeah. So, anyway, it was just wonderful. Just one small point which I want, because you should always improvise and correct, right? So, I just wanted next time you please make it a point that you also include this particular verse in your slide. And on the whole, it was very, very wonderful, very inspirational, motivating, and the flow of thoughts, your language, your command on your language, everything was just superb and excellent. And my sincere and heartfelt blessings to you, my dear Devyani.
Thank you so much,
Extremely
Mataji.
pleased with you, my dear. Very, very pleased. And I know you because whatever you say, it comes from within your heart. I know that very well. And you don't cook up stories or you don't take from here and there and try to do something very interesting. But whatever you say, it comes from your heart. And that is what makes it very, very truthful, honest, and very touching. I'm extremely, extremely happy with you. May Krishna bless you, dear. May Krishna bless you. Okay?
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Yes, yes, better. So I think Prabhu has spoken. So do you have kept any quiz or something? Google form, nothing, right? You already
No,
asked.
Mataji.
Okay. I think if you don't have anything, anybody wants to say something, a few words of encouragement and appreciation to Devyani, please feel free. Don't be miser in this regard. Open up and very nicely glorify such children. Yes.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna
Nupur.
Mataji, pranams. Pranams Mataji. Hare Krishna Devyani. I knew, I heard her before also when we were having one preaching section in the day with Krishna earlier, 2 years back. I know she will. I was telling Dhruv also, see, I feel like she'll give the best of the examples, best way of explanation. So I was quite waiting for her class. Last class I missed somehow for my engagements. So definitely very well arranged, very well organized, very well exemplified, very heart touching, very well understood also. But I have a question also. Like she's telling, Tesham satat yukta nam bhajdam priti purvakam. Like when we continuously be in devotional service, the Krishna will give us the buddhi and just guide us. But like when Mataji, when we are at work, as she explained about the working environment also, when we get down from the car and reach to our working place, we find that that is a different world altogether. And with that 12 hours work, somehow in between we got connected when we are in distressed or depressed, that we should remember Krishna. Otherwise, with all the conspiracies, politics, and miseries regarding the individual pains, we are totally engaged in this material mind. So I want to know, like, how we can be like satat, like how we can be at continuous. Our approach should be continuous at workplace also, because when we get down, get back from the workplace, then we feel this is our world. We are comfortable. We know Krishna. Since we sit the car and coming back, since then we are realizing this is our world. We have continuously do what we know what to do. But at workplace, that is not satat. I want like how it should be like satat, continuous.
Go ahead, Devyani.
Mataji, I don't think it will come properly, Mataji. I request you.
No, you tell. You can say, Devyani. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Mataji, I think when we continuously practice, when I learn music or when I learn something new, if I want to be expert in that, it will not come one night. One night I studied Sarigama, next day itself I cannot sing properly. So I think that when we practice devotional service daily with determination, with faith, slowly, automatically, our mind will think in Krishna's terms. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Very nice, beta. Very nice. That's the answer. It comes from practice, continuous practice. It cannot, but the thought that I'm not able to do that itself is a good sign. The very thought that, oh, I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to do this while at work, that is an impetus for you to ensure that when, as soon as you come out of your karmic activity or your professional, whatever you're engaged in, then your mind should automatically run towards Krishna. That is what should happen. So we are all in this conditional, in this material world. We have certain conditional duties to fulfill, and as long as you have this body, you need to keep your body and soul together. So there are some commitments and responsibilities, but this will come. Like she gave a very nice example. She gave some music. Similarly, Prabhupada also gives the example. Like when you're trying to ride a bicycle, then you're very, very conscious. Oh, I have to now pedal down. I have to pedal up. I have to put a brake. But when you understand, you don't have to think automatically. When you have to put the brake, your leg automatically goes. You may be talking, say for example, you might have had the very good understanding when you're driving the car. You're driving the car, but at the same time you're talking to somebody also. Now you're putting a brake, you're driving the car. How you're able to do two, three things or directly. Sometimes you're taking the call, sometimes you're putting the brake, you're calling, you're speaking to somebody, but you're driving also. How are you doing it? Because it is you've mastered the art of driving. Similarly, when you master this art of devotional service, then you will not feel that this is something different, that is something different. Only when I come from this zone to this zone, I'll be able to perform devotional service. Until then, I cannot perform. That thing will go away in course of time, Mother. That will go away in course of time. Does that help you, Mother?
Yes, yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Devyani.
Thank you.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Thank you. Radhita, you have something to say, Radhita?
Yes, Swati, I just want to tell Devyani that the class was so good. It was not only philosophical, but for every shloka, she had an example. She had a practical example. She had a story. It shows how much she understood. So I just want to tell her that the class was very nice. It was very practical. It In this way, we can understand how to apply Bhagavad Gita in our practical life. So it's very easy to understand also. So thank you so much for the wonderful class, Devyani. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Radhita, for your encouraging words. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Radhi, for being that. Extremely thankful to you. Yes. I think Ramakrishna Prabhu has again raised his hand. He wants to say something.
Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, regarding the way how we can be absorbed all the time, Srila Prabhupada gives two very wonderful examples. One is that of a driving example, which was something similar to what Sachimataji said, but I have something to add on that. And another example is that of a calf and a cow's relationship. Calf being very young, when it is allowed along with other calves, its mates, so it goes around, does so many other kinds of an activity. But all the time, it is always seeking when I can go back to my mother and when I can actually drink her udders and when I can be caressed by mother. So even while playing with the other calves, this baby calf has always the thought to be back with its mother. So still such type of a consciousness is not developed, then we will be just only playing around. And then we only at the time of any distress or a difficulty, we remember, oh, I had to go back to my parent or I had to take some protection. But the calf is not like that. Even though while it is playing, it is still always remembering its mother. And therefore, even if there are thousands of calves and thousands of cows kept in, the calf knows where its mother is and only goes to its mother. So this is the way how a Krishna conscious person always becomes absorbed in his goal. So it is irrespective of which atmosphere he is in, he is always thinking of Krishna and just performs his external duty as a formality. Srila Prabhupada uses the word. He does the duty as a formality, but he is not into it. Another example is of the driving Srila Prabhupada gives us. If a person knows where his destination is, even though while he's driving, he may be doing so many acts. He may be seeing the road, he may be doing the signals, he may be turning around, but he knows where his destination is and he will drive to that destination. Similarly, even though we may be engaged in different kinds of material activities because of a constitutional situation, we should have a clear idea of where is the goal. Where am I going to rest? Where is my place? If that is not understood, then we will just get diverted. Oh, this beautiful theater on the way that I'm going there, let me go and spend some time. Oh, this hotel is very nice, so let me go over there. Oh, here are my friends, so let me just go and sit there with them. That's how we become diverted because we don't know our goal. So till the time a person is very much fixed up in his goal, he will roam around and have only disconnected Krishna consciousness, not a fully connected consciousness. So he should have this clarity of mind. What is his goal? Then he can easily attain to that place, just like how the calf is always attached to its mother cow.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thanks to all of you for your wonderful association. So tomorrow is Saturday and then Sunday, 2 days we do not have a class, but we'll have the session again on Monday and we start with the 11th chapter. So I request all of you kind presence and be there to motivate the children and to hear and be there in this wonderful journey. So before we sign off for the day, Devyaani, may I request you to please chant the Vaishnav Pranam Mantra?
I was told that
Vancha
Saturday and
kalpate-
Sunday, Radhita will take the special classes.
Sorry.
Okay, fine. Devyaani, please go ahead and do the Vaishnav Pranam Mantra.
वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः।
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
हरे
Krishna.
कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Bol. Thank you. Thanks to all of you. And just before, if anybody doesn't know who is Devyaani, Devyaani is a dear daughter, elder daughter of His Grace Radha Ramana Kripa Das Prabhu, and her Grace Leela Parayani Lakshmi Rani Devi Dasi Mata, and she is in the grade 12. So wish her all the best in both her material and spiritual pursuits. Hare Krishna. She's a very good singer also. She's got a beautiful voice also. Thank you. Thanks, Devyani. Take care. Have a great day. Bye, Beta.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So with your kind
Thank
permission,
you so much.
end the session here for today. Okay.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Prabhuji. Thank you.